everyone. Let's see if Sue's getting in. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, once they get comfy, I need one of those sticks. I used to have one. Yes, I am sitting next to a radiator because I am cold. If anyone's joining us, we shall be talking about It Starts at Home, which is really ambiguous. Let's see, is she in? Are you here? Let me make sure I've messaged. Well, that's a good start.
Is it? How do I press my microphone? Do I sound? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, it's perfect. I need to have my. See, I got rid of all of my stuff. All of my desk and everything. So I've got no desk at the minute.
Okay.
Have I fallen off?
Yeah, you've fallen off. That's fine. I've got your back.
Here we go.
Right.
There must be a way of also.
Stick it in my little stand. Bear with
what?
me.
You know what we need to do these as well once we finish with our Facebook Lives. Matt needs to download them and then cut off the complete beginning bit so that we can introduce ourselves properly.
I'm really loving this stand. It's you know.
I can't see anything, so you're blank. There's just a blank.
Bear with me.
There's a blank screen. That's it. I can't see a thing.
That's so weird that you can't see me.
No, I can't see a thing. You are not there. I am literally talking to myself.
I'm just going to turn you up.
Right.
It's when I turned you up last time, you pinged off my sound.
No good.
This is why I had it on portrait mode last time.
Because you want it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I shouldn't have touched it.
No. All good. It worked.
But bear with me. Bear with me.
Fine.
Otherwise, I've got nowhere really to put it. Apart from this naff stand. Will it stay there?
Can you not lean it? I don't know. What? No, you're saying there you go. I can't see anything. It's a blank screen. So you're going as if to say like, "Hey presto!" I can't see a thing. So
yeah.
Right, let's crack on then. Let's crack on. So the description I put in there, it all starts at home. So hello everyone.
Hello.
If you have managed to stay on and you have managed to like keep up with us for the last 3 minutes, whether it's been either a blank screen or nothing going on, you haven't missed anything. This is the start of the live. So hey everyone. We've been doing our pack walks now for, well, Susie, you was going out in December, weren't you? But we've been doing them for the last 5-6 weeks continually.
Yeah.
Probably even more than that actually. And we've obviously, we've got a lot of experience between the two of us collectively. We've got about 20-25 years experience of owning, training, and also qualified as dog behaviourists and trainers. So between us, we notice lots of things. And it's really good because that's why it's a really good dynamic, because I'm more observant. I'm not saying Susie's not observant at all, but I kind of pick up on things while she's talking, and then obviously then she picks up on things whilst I'm talking. So it's really good, and we can bounce back and forth off of each other, and what we're seeing and experiencing is quite good really, because we can just witness stuff and then come back after a pack walk and have a bit of a conflab about what we've seen, what we've witnessed, how we can change things, anyway. So basically the whole essence of this training, what we're going to be talking about today, is it doesn't matter what we do on a pack walk. It's how you continue to do things at home. So we're only in part of your pack for the hour and a half that we're with you, 2 hours that we're with you, right, on our pack walks. But your dogs are with you continuously. And what we have to do is to get a consistent training, to get anywhere. We'll use an example. Say you have a reactive dog. Say, for instance, your dog, for whatever reason, hasn't had the best start, maybe as a puppy, wasn't really socialised for, again, whatever reasons. I can use my own dog for this. It was in COVID when we got him. When I say he wasn't well socialised, I mean with people. So when I picked up my dog, where he was 10 weeks old, I took him out for a walk and he hid under a bench and he would bark and growl at every single person. Dogs, fine with. People, absolutely hated them. And we still have that timidity with him. However, it's got a lot better. So it's kind of still, I still have to advocate for him. Like, don't reach out and you know, and stroke him. He has to get to know you. It's kind of like he likes to do things on his terms, right? So the thing is that if you're dealing with this with your dog, and they've not had this best start, like I just explained, it's up to you to continue what we're saying on our pack walks. And with us, when we're going on our pack walks, we're continually saying to people, you know, like, we can show you how to stop your dogs from pulling. Absolutely. However, if they are doing stuff indoors, so it won't just be the pulling of the lead. That's just what's the word I'm looking for? So it's just the you know,
yeah.
It's just what we're seeing.
Yeah.
So it's the
just
outcome.
A small bit of the bigger picture, basically.
Yeah. So what we're seeing is just one bit of a big behaviour. So the dog won't just be pulling on a dog lead. Perhaps indoors, obviously, you'll see a different dog, which is, again, across the field. You'll see dogs being different, you know, completely different indoors to what they are outside, right? It's a different environment. However, indoors they might be jumping up all over you. They might be jumping all over your visitors. They might be constantly barking, incessantly barking. And when I say incessantly, I mean a constant barking about anything, everything. They could be a food guarder. They could just be running off and nicking things. Like, there's going to be things that will then be the outcome on the walk, will be a dog puller, will be a reactive dog, will be something will happen and you think, where does that come from? But there will be telltale signs from inside. And what we say all the time is, every single time there is an issue, it's because your dog doesn't think you're the leader. They're taking control. And I'm talking about dogs that, you know, are pulling on the lead, they're being reactive, they're being aggressive. It's because they are confused. They don't know who's boss. So when I say to you, it starts at home, it's even before you go for a walk.
Yeah.
We need to be in control of that walk. So we need to be making sure it's the same thing as like a dog walks out in front of the front door in front of you. You're not going to start a dog walk in the best scenario if you're allowing that dog to take the lead immediately as soon as you leave the door. So it's the small steps. So again, when we're talking about the whole thing, and we were talking about onions last week, and there's like layers and layers and layers.
Yeah.
This is the outcome that we see from dog walks, okay? So it starts at home. You have to be consistent in home. So when we're talking about consultations, I was thinking about this the other day, so it's because we don't really say what we do either. We do these pack walks, but we obviously offer services.
Yeah.
And I was thinking the other day, like, you know, we don't really speak about that, do we? Which we should do, because we should be selling ourselves. So this is part of our package. We come to your home. We show you how to train your dog. So if you are dealing with lead pulling, jumping up, aggressiveness, whatever it may be, a whole host of issues or one issue, it will always be down to the fact that the dog's taking control, right? So in our one-to-one consultations, we come into your home. We spend as many hours as it takes for you to feel comfortable, confident and empowered to be able to go out and do your job as a leader, right? And it might be in the home. You may have trouble in the home rather than outside. We went to one couple, didn't we, who couldn't have visitors around because their dog was always biting,
Yeah.
remember? So when we're not talking just about on the walks, we're talking about inside the home as well. So we can come to your house and train your dogs. And when I say train you, it is pretty much training the owner.
Yeah.
It's never about the dog. It's never about the dog. Sorry, Suze, I've gone on a complete tangent. I do apologise. Do you want to say anything?
No.
I feel like I completely went off then. And
No,
you're probably sitting there going, okay, all right.
It's flowing, let it go.
Yeah.
But it does all very much start from home, and people don't realise that. They think it's just about going out. It's not. I would say most of dog behaviour is with what's going on at home, the dynamics at home. And I find, and you'd probably find as well, Joe, that it's really difficult to try and tell people because sometimes they don't quite get it. They don't understand the way we're taught love between humans is completely different for a dog.
Oh gosh.
So
yeah, of course.
look, when you enter your door, don't just allow your dog to jump up at you. Don't pay attention to the dog. You walk through the door, you put your bags down. If you've got bags, you hang your coat up, you settle yourself down. When the dogs calm down, then you fuss them. But people don't seem to take that very well because they'll say, oh yeah, but it's really cute. Oh yeah, but my dog will think I love it, or all these.
Also, I was going to sorry to interject.
Yeah, no.
But what you have then is a scenario of hi, and you're keeping them in that when you're going hello, Bobby. You're escalating what's already excitable.
They're excited to see you anyway, so they're approaching the door. They're super excited to see you anyway, and then boom, you are literally exploding that behaviour. And when you get dogs that jump up at humans, and it starts from that how you greet them, because they think then that's okay how to greet every human. And
of course,
people might find that cute in the little dog world, but it's no fun when a big dog's jumping up at you. But
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Even in the little dog world, it's still not acceptable because the reason why is they will end up, because of that high energy and because they've not learned how to respect you when you enter the room, they then become either, we don't like using the word, we'll use it, reactive, but they will end up becoming snappy, possibly a little bit
hostile.
Dogs or people. It creates that behaviour problem just by literally doing that, just by literally walking through the front door and going mad at your dog. But as we know, in the dog world, it's nothing about love. Like, oh, my dog's going to think I don't love it. No, it doesn't work that way. If anything, your dog will be patiently waiting for you. You're the master. You've walked through the door. It's like, oh my, I'm so excited my humans come in. But patiently, and then what they do learn is, oh, I get it. When I calm down like a good boy or girl, my human fusses me. Yes. So then they learn the pattern and the behaviour that when I'm calm, I get attention, I get fuss, and they love that. They love nothing more than that. Whereas if you by oh, look at my boy, just oh, come home, oh, my baby. That's high state that, in all hindsight, dogs don't always like being in that high state because it gets them in trouble.
Oh gosh, no. Of course. Of course.
So that's where I find the problem with teaching owners. It doesn't mean your dog's not going to go away and think, oh, my owner don't love me. Because you are going to fuss them, but you're waiting for the right time to fuss them when they're of calm.
100%. And I think it's really important here to say everything is on your terms. Like, even if you walk away from this Facebook Live after you've watched it and you go, oh, well, I don't really understand it's just on your terms. If you watch, and I say it again and again and again, if you watch a pack of wolves, because obviously our dogs are cousins of wolves, right? So when you look at their behaviour, it's modelled on wolves. That's purely because that's where they are in their ancestry, right? So when you actually look at the wolf pack, you have the alpha female and male. That there's normally a couple, right? So they're the ones who will mate. They're the ones who are the strongest, and you all know this. The strongest only survive. It's the same thing throughout the wild.
Yeah.
That's just how it works, right? But when they come back they all go out for a hunt, or the alpha pair go out to look for potential threats, predators, because that's what their hunt is. So that's what their walk is.
Yeah.
Their walk is to look for, is there any predators? Am I keeping my pack safe?
Yeah.
And making sure of potential threats.
Yeah.
So that's all they're doing. So that is the walk for them. So when we look at a walk for our dogs, it's the same thing. So they're looking for threats. They're looking for potential predators. And if they believe that they're the pack leader, that's when they're getting in trouble because of that behaviour and the thought process. Dogs live very much in the moment, so they won't be like, oh, right, we're going for a nice walk today because, you know, mummy wants us to go for a nice walk, so I'm just going to walk next to mummy nicely. I'm not going to sniff nothing. I'm not going to do nothing. Dogs have an actual purpose when they're walking. It's not just to going out for a nice little pretty walk. That's not what it's for. It's to, you know, spread their scent, look for predators, threats, etc., etc. And it doesn't matter if it's a dog. It doesn't matter if it's a leaf. If they think it's a potential threat, that the outcome will be the same, the barking, the lunging, whatever it could be. So when I say it's on your terms, the alpha pair will then come back from their walk. They will then come in, and all of the pups, every pack member will be trying to get in their face, licking their face, and the alpha pair walk through the middle and sit down. They will totally ignore it. And if you actually watch your own dogs, excuse me, they exhibit the exact same behaviour.
Yeah.
So with that being said, everything is on your terms. That is, do we have cuddles now, or do we have cuddles in a minute? Do I say hello to him now? Do I say hello to him in a minute? Like, it's always a question, and it takes a lot of work. People don't realise, and that's why thousands of dogs are in homes, sanctuaries, rescues, because it takes work.
Yeah.
It's a consistent training every single day. If they don't think you're up to it on that day, they'll play up. If they think you are, great, but they'll test you the next day. So it's a constant and consistent. So that's what we want to just teach everyone, is just that it starts at home. If there's a behaviour in the house that is not quite desirable and it might not be, and this is another thing, like Sue, you'd mentioned this a minute ago, you've got a chihuahua, right? And the chihuahua jumps up. Oh, look at her, bless her little heart. But you get a mastiff doing that stuff. You have to be, you know, sorting it out immediately. You can't have a mastiff jumping up at people, or a cane corso jumping up at people. Any big dog, Great Dane, whatever, right? You can't do that. That's not sweet. That's dangerous, because they could knock your old granny through the door, like they did with my aunt. They knocked my aunt through the pond. So my kids knocked my aunt into my pond. That weren't fun. But if it was a chihuahua, it's so cute. So
it's okay because it's a chihuahua, and it's not.
Yeah, which is why we have a lot of problems with small dogs.
Yes.
More small dogs than anything else. I mean, what I witnessed, I'm a dog walker as well, so what I witnessed as well, and what I've seen it through years and years and years, is people just don't necessarily train their little dogs because they think it's sweet and cute and fluffy, and it's not.
Bothering.
So
it's not bothersome. You know, if my little dog jumps up, it's no bother. If my little dog barks like a banshee like other dogs, that's okay too, because it's only small. But you look at the dynamics of the two. If you see one of my German Shepherds barking like a little dog would, what are people going to pay attention to the most? They're going to look at my German Shepherd. Oh my God, look at that German Shepherd, like absolutely going ballistic. It's the same with a little dog, and it doesn't mean that the dog means any less threat either. Like, it be in just the same mindset as my German Shepherd.
Yeah, 100%.
So, none of it's cute. None of it's
no,
cute.
It's not.
I'm
It
really,
just depends on your level of, just depends on your level as an owner, what you think is, and flipping this ever so slightly, it's a case of you might think something's cute, but when they're going out for a walk, that's when they're not cute, because when they're not coming back, when they're following other dogs, or when they're, and all that cute and fluffiness that you allow them to do in the house
yeah,
is then coming outside of the house. That's why you're having the problems that you are on the walk.
yeah.
So
I would
there's,
just like to help people to understand, I like to refer it always back to having children. So when people have their children,
mm,
this kind of gets people understanding it a bit more. If you have a child where you don't have no discipline, you don't have no boundaries, and you just say, yeah, you can have your dinner when you want, you can have your breakfast when you want, you can go on your games when you want, you can jump on the furniture if you want, you can jump all over the beds if you want.
yep,
When you take a child out to a restaurant, how do you think it's going to behave?
mm,
It's a nightmare. Whereas if you have the talks with your child, you're reasoning with them, you're giving them rules, you're giving them boundaries, and
yep,
this right, this is right, this is when, structure as well. So you're saying this is when you go to bed, or this is when you do this is when you do
yep,
that, and then you get a reward for this, and if you don't
yep,
do it, you're not going to get the reward. And
yeah,
then when you take that child out, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a really well behaved child.
yeah,
It's the same dog. It's the same principles. It's about having the structure, and it's consistency, like you say. It's consistency, the structure, the boundaries. If you do all of that,
yep,
you're going to have a dog. And believe it or not, humans, your dog will love you more for it. They will
yeah,
love you more for that than being this crazy dog that doesn't know what to do with itself. It's got no leadership. It's going out into the big wide world. Everything's a threat. Oh my God, my human hasn't got a clue
yeah,
where I'm at. Hasn't got a clue what's going on in my head. I'm
yep.
feeling really, they're feeling vulnerable because they don't feel they've got a protector.
No, of course not.
That's worse. I'd
Yeah,
sooner come through my front door
mm,
and not say hello to my dog straight away. I do things as well where I have an invisible threshold, where I make
mm,
them wait behind it
mm,
while I'm doing stuff in that room.
yeah,
And then when I want to invite them in, I'll invite them in.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
you can't just close the door on a dog. They don't get that, because the second you open it, it's like boom, out they go. You need the invisible threshold because it's learning boundaries of that they need to know that you're saying, stay there, wait there,
Yep,
you'll come if I tell you to,
yep,
as
yep.
a pack leader would. So
Mm.
yeah, that's what I do with mine anyway at home.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. But that's what we've learned, though. That's what we've learned over the years. What works, what doesn't work. We've had enough dogs, enough training
Definitely.
to realize what works, what doesn't work. And like we always say, it's not one. Just because you've got one dog. Yeah, the way in which we train, and I have to say, is the way in which we do things, it is a one-stop shop, so to speak. However, like when we do our consultations, it will be a step process, and it's very, very simple. It's very simple to be a leader. Very simple. We make this so complicated because we've made dogs into these fluffy little cuddly bears, where really they're actual canines that can do damage if you're
Yeah.
not careful. So really, we've put these little fluffy things on a pedestal where people go and paint their nails even now to these days. So it's a crazy world we live in. But when we come into your house, we have a protocol that we follow. It's the same protocol, but we do it tailored for different dogs, because not every dog is the same, and not every issue they have is the same. So one dog could have resource guarding, for instance, over anything. It could be toys, it could be food. And we would go in with the same protocol, but obviously for that family, we would make sure that they're doing different exercises.
Yeah.
So it would be a different training model to, say, a dog that was not letting people in the house. So it's a different scenario. So, yeah, so going back to dogs, there's different layers to all of this. So what you see on pack walks is not going to be the whole picture. It's
No.
going to just be the little piece. And what we do in our pack walks is give you training for just that part,
Yeah.
just that bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously we don't see what goes on behind
No.
closed doors, but that's why the dogs that are there have the issues.
Mm.
Because obviously, and some don't. Some dogs don't have any of the issues. Some dogs are generally just want to come for a pack walk. The owners want to get them out and socialise, which is an amazing thing to do
Yeah.
because that's what they should do. Dogs aren't designed to live by themselves. They are
Yeah.
packs, as in wolves. They are packs. They will have a pack. So we've just inserted ourselves as the
Mm.
owners. And now we're like, we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
What's happening now for my dog? Why they're running off? What's going on? we haven't got a
Oh,
clue. Whereas they do quite well in the
oh,
wild, don't they? So
yeah. And
without us,
it's even as trainers, I think that we can be honest and say no one really fully knows what's going on inside a dog's head. We're just
of course not.
surmising by their body language, their behaviour, how they act in the wild, and
Yeah,
and
100%.
this is why it's super important that you need to observe your dogs. You need to fully observe, understand what's going on, look out for the signs and
Yeah,
signals.
definitely.
And,
The subtle is subtle behaviour. A lot of the times, it's very subtle.
and if you've got more than one dog, it's even more,
Mm,
you really see it is. Because if you see how that other dog teaches that other dog, you can learn so much, just by watching
yeah,
a pack of dogs, how they treat each other. And you've only
yeah.
got to mimic what a dog does and how
Mm,
a dog trains, particularly a pack leader dog. Um, and then you've nailed
yeah,
it. You,
definitely. Well, I mean, even on our walk, like last Saturday when we went out, you know, we were there was lots of things going on, and you can see some of the videos from last week that Susie's posted. But there was a different dynamic because another dog had come into the mix, and it was a different dynamic than what it was the week before. But there was lots of like the hierarchy changes, so you can see that in the pack. There's a lot of hierarchy changes going on. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Testing,
yeah, there was.
testing, lots of testing going on. And as trainers, we've got to observe that behaviour, and sometimes it's so subtle that you don't necessarily catch it if you're an owner. It's
Mm,
only when you're with someone. I'm not saying that we're experts, but I'm saying if you're with us, we can show you
mm,
like this is what they're doing. There's a lot of eye bogging, there's a lot of like side eyeing going on, there's a little bit uncomfortableness going on here.
mm,
So that's really good in that respect because you can learn those types of behaviours, and then you can uh, um, step in
mm.
when you see it
Yeah,
and feel it down the lead. A lot of it comes from
yeah.
that. So yeah, so so just want to say really, Suze, what do you want to end the live with? How do you want to what do you want to say? Is there anything else?
Um, I can't think of anything at the top of my head.
Hmm,
But it is, so our training is based on literally training you how to be more dog, is
100%.
what it is.
It's
Based,
it's never us. It's never the dog, sorry. It's always us.
it's
Always.
always us. If there's something wrong with your
Yeah.
dog, it's you.
Yeah.
And I'm the first to admit that.
Mm.
I say we've got Sabre, 10 months old, and he's just decided to be a real challenge. But that's my challenge. He's just behaving more of a dog, and I need to work out where his personality is going from becoming puppy into adolescenthood.
Yeah, well,
And
that's why he's
uh,
probably doing what he's doing as well, because he is a larger breed, so he
yeah,
will be coming into his adolescence
he's
quicker,
coming.
won't he?
So
Mm.
that's my job to work out.
Mm.
Hey, let's check out your personality. Let's see what you're at. What am I working
Yeah.
with? And because there's many different tools for many different training methods.
Yeah.
So
100%.
we're here to help people do that also. So
Mm.
I'm doing it, and yeah, it's just basically our message is, if you want the one-to-one training, we can come to you and help you
Mm.
understand this.
Mm. Understand it, understand it a little bit better. As I said, we're not just with you for a couple of hours. We're there until you get it, till you feel confident. I think more than anything, it's the confidence and empowering, because for us, it's an amazing feeling when we see the owner get it,
Yeah,
implement it, and then see the
yeah,
results. It's the moment of aha moment.
yeah,
The epiphany comes, and it's an amazing moment where they go, right, I've got it. And
yeah,
that's when we feel comfortable that we can leave them knowing that they've
yeah,
got it. But it's amazing to see the confidence shift. So if you're not confident with your dog, or you're having issues with your dog, you're feeling that there's, you're thinking you're doing it all right, but everything's going so wrong, please message us, because our job as trainers, and we're so passionate about this. We've worked with dogs for years, and we're so blessed to be able to do this, that we really just want as many people and to help as many people as we can.
yeah,
So if you want to come out on a pack walk and you're local to Essex, then please message us. If you really are feeling like you need help in the home and you're feeling like things are getting out of control, or you want to feel better about things, please message us.
yeah.
We can come round and we can train the dog, we can train you, and you will feel
Yeah.
more confident and empowered as we leave. So yeah,
Yeah,
and I think that's it, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. And it's
Wonderful.
that's something that popped in my head. I always
Yeah,
do.
go on.
So it's basically because dogs are not in the wild, and because us humans have decided to have them in our lives. In the wild, just highlighting what we do as trainers. So in the wild, generally, like what we see on the pack walk the other day, where they were testing each other and they were constantly trying to test each other. In the
Yep.
wild, they would do that until the point they would have a fight. But it wouldn't be a fight to death. That's not what it is. It would be a fight to see who is
The
more
strongest.
powerful and the strongest.
Yeah.
And them two dogs generally will never ever fight again,
Mm.
unless there could be a situation over food or something like that. But generally, the one that's lost, when there's food, when they've brought food, they've killed their kill and there's food there, the other dogs, you'll see it, they'll all be waiting for pack leader to eat first, and then they'll all
Yeah,
come
of
in.
course.
So what we're doing as humans, obviously, that's not a scenario that we can put our dogs into. We can't say, right, you need to work out your hierarchy, go and have a fight. So this is where we train you to step in and say, rather than that scenario happening as it would in the wild, we become the pack leader. So we're saying, listen, you don't need to fight, because I'm here, I'm pack
I'm your
leader,
advocate.
I
Yeah.
do, and
Yeah.
that's what it is. So then you end up with the dog that doesn't want to fight every other dog, because it knows that you are in control, and that's where we step in to help you how to do that and achieve that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The dog's advocate. That's
Yeah,
all we
dogs.
are.
Yeah,
All we are.
yeah,
And we're just showing you how things go wrong, how to stop it going wrong,
yeah.
and just being more comfortable with being with your dog,
And
and just knowing that you've got this. That's all it is.
exactly, it can go wrong, and it does go wrong. My goodness, my
Oh,
dog's perfect whatsoever. But
oh
the
gosh, no.
tools of the training is when it does go wrong, how do you,
Mm,
that's the most important thing. How do you correct it?
exactly. Right. When's our next pack walk? Well, you can put that on later on, can't
Yes,
you?
that later on, because we've actually got quite a few dates listed now, haven't we? So,
We've worked it out between us, haven't we? We're very
yeah,
good.
yeah.
We've worked it out. We're organised for the month of
Oh,
April.
campers.
May might be shot to bits. April though, April we're on.
Oh, so
We're
I
good for April.
think it's going to work out. Yeah, we're actually going to put on the WhatsApp group a bit of a poll, because it could potentially be Saturday, it could potentially be Sunday. So we're just going to put the feelers out there, because we like to, give our clients options, obviously. So, yeah, we're just going to try and see what works for everyone for either Saturday or Sunday, but I will put that on the WhatsApp group, and I will also put that on Facebook as well.
Yes. So if you are local to Canvey, Essex, and you want to socialise your dog, or you want to come out with us, do let us know. Message us or pop a comment into the Facebook Live, and then we will pop you into our WhatsApp, and then you will know firsthand when we are going
And
out. Okie dokie.
Any topic that any of you want us to cover on another
Definitely.
Facebook, you must drop it in the comment box, otherwise we're not going to know.
Yes. And also remember to follow our page. And more news will be coming on our YouTube as well, won't it?
Yes, yes. It's going to be up and running, all singing, all dancing. So, yeah, excited.
Right, okay, guys. We're going to leave you there. But if any comments or any questions, please do message us.
Yes.
And we shall see you later on.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.